even though I said I was practicing in Ojai and that I didn't do much acupuncture. But I did promise that I would talk a little bit about Chinese medicine. And as I thought more about it, I realized that actually Chinese medicine is probably the biggest, best holistic medicine that I know, because everything that all our wonderful presenters spoke about today lands in Chinese medicine, because it's so ancient, over 2,000 years old. And there are 5 important elements in Chinese medicine. Does anyone here know about Chinese medicine? Does anyone? Yeah? No? Quite a lot of you? Great. Do you know what the 5 elements are?
Yes.
What are they?
Wood.
Wood.
Metal.
Metal.
Air.
Air.
Fire.
Yep. Fire. That metal is air. Fire.
Water.
Water. And earth. Brilliant. Okay. So this book, The Play Formula, I developed for 2 reasons. 3 actually. One, my mom had cancer in the early 90s, and our dear mutual friends, Dr. Michael Gallitz and Janet Lange, helped us with my mom during her whole process, which was extraordinary and changed my life. And 2, when I became a member of Acupuncturists Without Borders, I realized that our medicine, which I thought was kind of very one-on-one, and we could only help one person at a time, that they were helping thousands of people at a time all over the world with trauma healing. They started with Hurricane Katrina, they've worked in Haiti, they've worked in Nepal, they've worked in Chile with the earthquake, so they've worked with fires, they worked with the first defenders like in Santa Barbara. So it kind of grew my thinking that we could take our healing to a lot more people. And what I also realized, and the other reason I developed the Play Formula was because I realized people didn't take it home with them. They would come, they would see the wonderful practitioners. When we ran our clinic in Santa Monica, we had 10 practitioners, and patients would have wonderful experiences, and then they would go home. And I'd go, what happened? How come you've come back and haven't held onto it? And so I started sending them a PDF of the 5 important steps. It's actually 4 steps plus 1. And then I realized some would read the PDF, but when I turned it into an actual book, that it was a to-do, and they could flip through and scribble all over and practice every single day, that they started to hold their changes. That makes sense? Yeah. So I'm going to go through the 5 elements. And the biggest element that I discovered was missing with people with serious diagnosis. Do you know what it is? What is it? Speak up loud! Laughter and play. Laughter and play. And love and heart. And all the amazing presenters today were talking about different variations of that. And it's the fire element. And self-nurture, self-love, self-care is something that, like Marilyn was talking about when you got so sick and you were working 8 hours a day, and it's like we're often so giving and caring we forget to point it back at us. So I'm going to go through the elements with you first, the physical body sensation, so that you remember the steps, and then we're going to use it in life situations. Would that work for you? Yeah? Okay. So, and I'm going to step away from this. Tell me if you can't hear me. Okay. So, P. P stands for, some of you have heard me go through this before, and you might know this, so keep your mouth shut. P stands for physical. Okay? And how you remember this is physical. And who were the presenters that were really focusing on physical stuff today? Remember them? Tumi and Mary Jo. So Mary and I realized brought in all these elements just naturally because they are the most important 5 elements in you. So we've got physical. So give yourself like a hug and just get a sense of your physical body. Yeah, yeah. And look at the smiles I'm noticing. So simple, isn't it? If you can do this every day, you're going to boost your immune system just like that. Okay. So L. Can you guess what L stands for? Laughter. Laughter and love. Okay? That's the fire element. So that's your heart in Chinese medicine. The P is yellow. it's all color-coded. Yellow is the earth element, okay, which is your body, physical. L, laughter, love. Okay, so this one's easy. Yeah? So we've got P, give yourself a hug. L, love for love. Yeah, got that? Yes. Next one. So who is the care, heart connection piece today? Renee? Ojai Cancer. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you all had everything, but each of you focused a little bit more on one aspect of the elements. Okay. So then we have A, which is awe-inspiring. Now you said this again, right? Awe. How'd you say? Awe-inspiring. Begins with A. And that movement is this. So it's stretching up to something bigger than you. Okay? Bigger spirit, stretching the envelope. And who would be representing that? I wonder. Spirit. Marilyn. Yeah, and look how you feel when you're stretching the envelope and you're connected. Yeah. In fact, they did some amazing studies. It was a doctor in Florida, and what they discovered was with AIDS patients, when they connected with something bigger than them and that their illness was not just, oh, poor me, I'm a victim, but what am I learning from this? Their T cells went up by 50%. Has anyone heard that study before? Did you know that too? That's a great one, isn't it? You probably know the name of the doctor. Yeah. We don't have to know. So, pretty amazing or inspiring. That's why that's in there. Why? Can anyone guess what why means?
Yes.
Yes, that's a good one. I like that one. Yummy, yes. The play formula is anything that's yummy that makes you feel yummy inside. Yeah. Y is you, and the way we remember you is pointing back to you. Okay. And who? I know your name. Who represented you today? Leslie. Exactly. So we had all four elements, the four steps of the play formula, and the metal element in Chinese medicine is like where it integrates everything together. So it's a solid container. So that's the actual formula, is the metal element. Okay? So should we go through those movements again so you remember them?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So what's P stand for? Physical. What's L stand for? What's A stand for? Awe-inspiring. And what does U stand for? Why? I just had to look at Leslie. And I know some people talked about the importance of mindfulness. In fact, I think all of you did, didn't you? So again, studies. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. Meditation, mindfulness increases the resilience in the prefrontal cortex, this part of your brain. And they've also done studies where the more you play, the more you have fun, the more you laugh, it grows this part, and this is the center for happiness. So, could that be worth it, fun and play every day?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so let's choose an example. Should we start with an example? Yeah? The example I usually invite people to offer is a funny movie. That's why we have kind of funny movies in here. We start with a play formula with that, because it's like training wheels. And then after that, we take it into your life. We take it into relationships. I even have guys, particularly, and I've changed it to a girl, the story in here. But guys will often come in and say, well, Susan, you know, my relationship with my girlfriend isn't really working. Can you help me rate her? And we'll rate, and if that girl is not, that the relationship is not as fun as their favorite movie, then she's out. How many times these guys, there's a place for self-awareness in your brain. How many times they look so crestfallen? Well, I thought it was going to work, but she's a 6, and the favorite movie is a 19. And Julian said that's very, what was the word?
Sexist,
chauvinistic. Change it to helping women check their than partners that work with. So, what shall we do? Does anyone have a favorite funny, inspirational movie? And it needs to be funny, and it needs to be inspirational if you know anyone or you yourself are suffering from a serious illness. If you're strong with a healthy immune system, it doesn't matter. You don't need to rate anything because your system is really resilient and you can handle it. But when you're ill, like with my mom, when she had the cancer diagnosis, that was serious. Everything counted. Okay? So, anyone have a favorite funny movie that will rate?
Ruthless People.
Ruthless People?
It's funny.
Is it funny?
It has every twist you could dream of. You gotta see it if you haven't.
Do you feel great at the end of it?
Yeah, Danny DeVito's hysterical. And who's the female lady?
Does anyone else know the movie?
Yeah.
I don't know it.
It's really good.
The best miracle.
Oh, yeah.
The best miracle.
The Best Marigold Hotel?
Yeah.
Who else knows Best Marigold Motel?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
All right.
Exotic Miracle?
Yeah, Best Exotic Marigold.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
All right, that's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Patch Adams.
well, what?
Patch Adams.
Patch Adams, that's another one.
That's a good one.
He's in the book. He's in the book.
Oh, City Island, that's another good one.
That's another good.
City Island.
So let's start with the one that most people know, shall we? Yeah? So in terms of physical, when you just think of Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, what happens in your body?
Feel better.
You feel better, like physical sensation. How would you describe it? You more uplifted, maybe more relaxed.
Well, there are a lot of laughs in that movie, and a lot of funny characters.
Yeah.
So, it makes me feel joy, because they are enjoyable to watch.
So you've gone too into the L laugh loud, because that's the joyful piece too. So you're combining the physical. In terms of physical sensation then, when you feel joy, what does your body do?
It feels energized.
Energize, yeah. So does it shut down? Or does it open up?
It opens up.
Exactly, listen. So it opens up. Thank you, Marilyn. Yes. So what we're looking at, and actually at the very beginning of the book, I'm like this, I'm saying, lighten up or you'll tighten up. Can we play tennis like this? Can we have fun like this? It's hard, isn't it? So what Marilyn just shared is she's opening up. Everyone else feel that when they think of Best Exotic? Yeah? Okay. So how would you rate that on a scale of 1 to 5 when you think of that movie? 5 is the most.
I call it a 5, and they have another one coming out next week.
Yes. I thought fantastic. Yeah.
March 6th, I think.
I think we should all get together and watch All right, so that's a 5. Who can keep score for us? Who wants to keep score? You can keep score? Okay, so remember 5 for P, physical, yeah? All right, J, and you already mentioned, J, L. L, how would you rate? Does it make you really laugh? Are you rolling on the floor? Or does it give you a big smile inside? Do you love it? How would you rate that on a scale of 1 to 5?
5.
A 5. 5. So what happens with your body?
Relax.
You relax.
Your heart opens.
Your heart opens. Okay. So when it's a 5, you relax and your heart opens. You feel connected? Yeah. So I don't know what your name is. Catherine. Oh, Catherine. We can remember 5 and 5. Yeah.
I think I got that.
So what's the next one? Are inspiring. Okay. Does it inspire you? Does it stretch the envelope?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. What happens inside your body when you think about it? Expand.
Possibility.
What kind of possibility?
For relationship and connection and fun.
Yeah. I cried with that. I watched on the air.
And a totally new life. They all left. The old life. Totally new life.
Haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it. Yeah, it was very inspiring. Stretch the possibilities. All kinds of things are amazing for all of us. All our lives can change. So, how did we score that? 5. Tough, Catherine. Okay, you're doing really well, by the way. This is great. Okay, so the final one is you. Exactly. Are you engaged when you think about it? Well, there's Mary Jo. Remember when you say just in your imagination, your body changes. Just even thinking about that movie, you're getting a ton of feel-good hormones and chemicals that are just flooding your system just thinking. So were you on the edge of your seat? Were you connected with these people? Were you living it? Were you in India? Are you hearing those sounds? Yes. Yeah. Anybody not? No, apart from one person.
I'm getting a contact eye from it.
Exactly. That's why I do this with any movie, because I get the high with everything. Okay, so how would we rate that? 5. Julian, that's a pretty high movie, isn't it? That's a pretty high score. So 20 is the max that you can get. And how do we score? Yeah, so that's an example. And how do you feel now that you have scored it, thought about it, talked about it in community, which makes a difference too? How do you feel?
Good. 20.
20? You feel like 20?
Not feeling so guilty about the movies I watch.
Exactly. So when it's a 20, that is your ultimate feel-good factor, which takes us straight back to our immune system, and takes us straight back to why we're here on the planet, helps us keep on track with our life purpose, and everything can settle inside. So what we're doing here is taking all the wonderful sharings and work from everybody who's shared this afternoon, all these amazing presenters, and bringing it back into us, you, embodying it, so that you can go home and keep this going every single day. Does that make sense? Yes. Could you do that?
Yes.
As soon as I see the movie. Well, March 6th is the next one.
That's when the next one's coming out. The second best exotic marital hotel.
I love that. So have you got
Same actor.
the same actor?
I'm already starting to ask questions. You keep presenting and I'll ask later.
Well, I think, did you get it?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit confused just because I do watch a lot of movies and I love to think about it in terms of movies. But when you're actually talking about the play, you're asking us to use these symbols, this meaning of these words relative to anything we're doing, right? Whether we're thinking about our relationship, whether we're thinking about our relationship with our kids, whether we're thinking about our studies. I mean, you're saying we can use this as a model for how we're approaching it?
Yes, we actually met with a psychologist who's a comedian last week, and he's on the back of our book. And he said that what we've done was actually quantify happiness. I thought, wow, that makes it sound quite professional. Well, all it was originally was to get people to make healthy choices in their life. So we started with movies because my mom was told to watch happy movies, funny movies. We couldn't find any. And I didn't know anyone because I was too serious learning my practice. And she had a serious illness, and so did everyone else with HIV and everything. So it was like I was scratching my head going, duh, it's actually, this book is cartoon to cartoon. It's not about heavy reading, it's literally to help you to go from tightening up to rising up.
Yes.
So let's, Mary Jo, use a life example. And who's keeping me on track? Who's checking my time? How much time do I have? 10 up.
You got 50 seconds.
But that's neat. The idea is taking an example of something and then just going through the
Give me a quick example.
of something in life or something that I'm thinking about.
What was your question? Yeah.
I've got one.
Well, I'll take questions after because time is up.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be around for a while, but thank you so much for being here.